Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something right now. There are certain things a man will only do when he's in deep. I'm talking about a level of connection where he ain't just with you for a good time. He's with you because he can't imagine life without you. Now, I ain't just talking about intimacy in the way you think. I'm talking about the little signs, the extra moments, the energy he gives you when it's just the two of you behind closed doors. A man's real feelings, ladies and gentlemen, they don't show up in the way you think. See, out here in the streets, on Instagram, in front of his friends, a man can be whoever he wants to be. He can flash a smile, tell you all the right things, open a few doors, take you to nice places, and make you feel like you're on top of the world. But you can't always trust what you see in the daylight, because the daylight is when we put on the performance. The real test is when that sun goes down, when it's just you and him. No audience, no camera, no pressure to impress. That's when you find out exactly where you stand in a man's heart. See, when a man is in public, he can hide his emotions behind jokes, behind a tough face, behind distractions. But in private, in those moments when it's just the two of you, that's when the truth comes out. A man who really cares about you, who can't live without you, he can't fake the way he looks at you when it's quiet. He can't fake the way his body language softens, the way his voice changes, the way his energy shifts from the world outside to just you. You can feel that. If you want to know how a man truly feels, don't judge him by the bouquet of flowers he buys you in front of people. Judge him by how he treats you when nobody's there to see it. You see, a man who is really connected to you, he's not going to treat those private moments as just routine. He's going to lean in. He's going to pay attention to you. He's going to slow down and make sure that you're happy, comfortable, and at ease. That's not just about physical attraction. That's about emotional investment. And let me tell you something. Fellas don't go out of their way to create comfort for a woman they're not serious about. If he's making sure you're good before he's good, if he's taking his time, if he's asking what you like, what you need, if he's trying to understand you on a deeper level in those moments, that man is showing you his truth without saying a word. Now, I'm not just talking about what happens in the heat of passion. I'm talking about the whole atmosphere he creates around you. If he's gentle, if he's attentive, if he laughs with you, if he talks to you like you're the only one who exists, then baby, he's not just there for now. He's there because he doesn't see a life without you in it. Men have a hard time saying, I can't live without you. Pride gets in the way, ego gets in the way, sometimes even fear gets in the way. But in those private moments, that's when we let that guard down. That's when we do little things without even thinking, holding you close, running his fingers through your hair, looking you in the eye with that unspoken message. You're it for me. You don't need him to write you a poem or post about you online. If he's showing you all this when it's just you and him, you've already got the answer. And you know what else? If he's making you laugh in those quiet moments, he's giving you more than intimacy. He's giving you joy. Joy is not something a man hands out casually. If you've got him smiling after a long day, if you've got him forgetting his stress when he's with you, that's not temporary. That's him saying, I'm at home here. Ladies, I need you to start paying attention to the small signs. Men show their hearts in subtle ways. Watch how he behaves when nobody's watching. Is he still affectionate? Is he still protective? Is he still curious about you? Those are not just habits. Those are instincts when he's connected. And trust me, instincts don't lie. The truth is, in public, a man can make any woman feel special. But in private, when it's just the two of you, if you feel valued, cherished, and seen, that's not a game. That's not temporary. That's a man who's already woven you into the fabric of his life. And when you've reached that point, baby, you've got more than his attention. You've got his heart, and he's not letting that go. You can tell a lot about a man, not just by how he acts during intimacy, but by what he does afterward. That period right there, that after moment is the truth teller. See, anybody can be sweet and charming when the energy's high and the music's playing in the background. But the real feelings start showing when the main event is over. That's when you see if a man is connected to you emotionally or if he was just passing time. If a man can't live without you, he's not rushing to turn away from you after. He's not grabbing his phone, rolling over, or acting like the moment is done. Instead, he's leaning in closer. He's pulling you in, holding you tight, making sure you're comfortable. He's still talking to you about life, about silly things, about whatever's on his mind, because it's not just about the physical part for him. It's about staying connected with you as a person. That holding afterward, that's more than just affection. That's a man saying, I'm still here, and I want you to know you matter to me even when the excitement dies down. A man who can't live without you uses that time to pour back into you. He'll laugh with you, maybe even play with your hair, kiss your forehead, and keep that warmth going. He's not trying to detach. He's trying to deepen the connection. You know what makes that so powerful? Men don't do that with just anybody. If a man is investing that kind of energy after the fact, that's because he's emotionally tied to you. That's because he sees you as more than a moment. He sees you as a part of his life. It's his way of telling you without words, this isn't just about now. I want you here tomorrow too. And I know some people think that all that post-intimacy affection is just a nice touch, but ladies, I'm telling you, it's a whole love language on its own. A man can fake romance in public. Flowers, dinners, smiles for the camera. But you can't fake what happens when there's no audience. You can't fake the softness in the way he holds you when nobody's watching. You can't fake that content little sigh when he's just lying there with you, not needing anything else but your presence. That's why I tell women all the time, pay attention to the after. Don't get so caught up in the big fireworks that you ignore the tenderness that follows. That tenderness is where the truth is. When a man can't live without you, he's going to make sure you know you're valued in every stage of being with him, especially when there's no performance to put on. And here's another thing. The talking afterward is a big deal. When a man stays and talks, even about the simplest stuff, your day, something funny he saw, plans for tomorrow, that's intimacy too. That's him letting you into his mind, not just his arms. A man who doesn't care will be quick to move on, maybe even get distant, but a man who's attached to you, he's going to keep the conversation going because he loves being in your presence. Sometimes it's not even about words. It's about staying close, not rushing off, maybe even falling asleep with you right there beside him. You can feel it in how he breathes, how he relaxes around you, how safe he feels in your space. And ladies, men don't let themselves feel that safe with just anyone. Safety is trust. Trust is connection. And connection is the foundation of I can't live without you. So if you find yourself with a man who doesn't just show up for the high points but stays present in the quiet moments afterward, that's someone whose heart is in it for real. That's a man who isn't just there for the thrill, he's there for the bond. And bonds like that, they don't fade easy. They only grow stronger the more they're nurtured. When a man is holding you after, when he's smiling with you, when he's still giving you his attention like you're the center of his world, that's not just affection, that's a promise. And you better believe that when a man can't live without you, he's going to keep making that promise every single time. Vulnerability is one of the hardest things for a man to show, especially in an intimate space. See, men are taught from an early age to be strong, to hold it together, to never let anyone see them weak. We're told to keep our guard up, protect ourselves, and never let emotions make us look soft. But when a man gets to the point where he can drop that shield in front of you, when he can let you see him unfiltered, that's not just attraction, that's deep trust. That's him telling you, I feel safe here. And for a man, safety is love. When a man can't live without you, he's going to let you see parts of him that the rest of the world will never get close to. It might not look like much from the outside. Maybe it's the way he shares his fears. Maybe it's how he tells you about his past. Or maybe it's just that he lets you see him when he's not trying to be impressive. But for us men, those moments are bigger than flowers and fancy dates. Vulnerability is a gift we only give to someone we trust with our heart. Now, here's the thing. In the bedroom, vulnerability is magnified. That's the most unguarded place a man can be. There are no titles there, no tough guy act, no pretending to be in control of every single thing. It's just him with you, stripped of all the masks. And if in that moment he's able to connect emotionally, if he's able to be gentle, if he's able to express affection without holding back, that means something. That's not just intimacy, that's emotional surrender. And don't confuse surrender with weakness. This isn't about a man losing himself. It's about him choosing to be fully present with you, even if it means showing you the cracks in his armor. A man can go his whole life without showing that side to anyone, but if he's showing it to you, it's because he sees you as home. He feels like you won't use his softness against him, and that's rare. Men often protect themselves by keeping a part of their heart locked away, but when he can't live without you, he starts unlocking those doors. He lets you in on his insecurities, his hopes, his doubts, his dreams. He'll tell you about the things he's scared of and the things he wants in life, not because he needs your approval, but because he wants you to be part of his inner world. That's vulnerability, and it's not something we share lightly. And let's be real. There's a difference between a man who's just there for the moment and a man who's truly invested. The one who's just passing time will keep his guard up, make sure you only see what he wants you to see. But the man who's attached to you, the man who feels like he can't imagine life without you, he's going to start letting those walls down. He might even surprise himself by how much he opens up to you, because when the connection is real, it's almost impossible to keep it all locked inside. In those quiet, private spaces, vulnerability shows up in little ways. It might be the way he lets you comfort him when he's had a bad day. It might be how he lets his emotions show in his eyes when he's looking at you. It might be how he asks for your opinion, not just on what to wear or where to eat, but on decisions that matter in his life. Those are not just habits. They're signals that he sees you as someone he needs, not just someone he wants. So if you've got a man who's willing to let you see the real him, flaws and all, don't underestimate that. That's not a temporary gesture. That's a permanent sign. A man who can't live without you will risk looking soft, risk looking vulnerable, because he knows that with you, his heart is safe. And when a man feels that level of safety, that level of trust, he's already given you something he can't take back. A man's actions will tell you, I can't live without you, way louder than his words ever will. See, we fellas, we might say a lot of things. We might tell you we care, that we love you, that we're not going anywhere, but words are easy. They roll off the tongue smooth. And some men have made a career out of saying the right things without ever meaning them. That's why you've got to watch what a man does, not just what he said. Because actions, that's where the truth lives. When a man is truly tied to you, when he can't see a future without you in it, his behavior changes. You don't have to ask him to show up. He just does. You don't have to beg him to care. He just does. He's present not just in the good times, but in the tough ones. He's there when you're laughing, and he's still there when you're crying. That consistency, that's his heart talking. It's not about grand gestures all the time. Sometimes it's about the way he pays attention to you without you even realizing it. He notices when you're tired. He notices when you're not yourself. He notices little things that you thought went unseen, like the way you like your coffee or the fact that you always put on music when you're stressed. A man who can't live without you will pick up on those details and then he'll act on them. That's how you know it's real. Even in moments of intimacy, it's not just about the act for him. It's about reading your energy, making sure you're comfortable, making sure you're satisfied. And after those moments when most people's attention fades, he's still there, holding you, talking to you, protecting the space between you. That's an action, not a word, and it's a powerful one. Men are taught to be providers and protectors, but when a man truly loves you, he doesn't just provide money or protect your safety. He provides emotional security and protects your heart. That might mean defending you when you're not in the room. It might mean stepping in when someone disrespects you. It might mean speaking up for your needs even when you're too tired to. Those are not things you can fake. Here's the truth. A man can tell you he loves you every day, but if his actions don't match, those words are just noise. But if he's showing up for you, if he's making sacrifices, if he's making your happiness a priority without keeping score, then he's already told you he can't live without you. He's just saying it through what he does. And let me make something clear. It's not always about perfection. A man who's in love with you might not always get it right. He's human. He's going to mess up sometimes. But you'll know the difference between a man who slips but tries to make it right and a man who doesn't care enough to try at all. The one who's truly invested will take accountability. He'll listen and he'll do better, not just because you asked, but because losing you isn't an option in his mind. Another big thing is time. A man who can't live without you will give you his time. Time is the one thing we can't get back, and men guard it closely. If he's choosing to spend his time with you over and over again, that's not random. That's intentional. Whether it's sitting on the couch doing nothing or planning something special, he's showing you where his priorities are. So watch for the quiet, consistent actions, the ones that happen when nobody else is watching, the ones that happen when there's nothing for him to gain. That's when you see the truth. Because when a man is connected to you at that deep soul level, he doesn't have to tell you every day. You'll feel it in the way he treats you, the way he shows up, and the way his actions wrap around you like a promise he's determined to keep. When a man can't live without you, you'll see it in the way he gives you consistent tenderness and attention, not just once in a while, not just when he wants something, but all the time. Anybody can be sweet for a week. Anybody can pour on the charm in the beginning, but real love, real connection, that shows up over and over again. Even when life gets messy, even when the mood isn't perfect, even when there's nothing exciting going on. That's when you know the man you're dealing with is in it for the long haul. See, a lot of men are good at the chase. They'll text you all day, call you every night, show up with little surprises just to get your attention. But here's the truth. Most men slow down after they think they've got you. The effort fades, the attention fades, the tenderness fades. But the man who truly can't live without you, he doesn't stop doing the things that made you fall for him in the first place. He keeps finding ways to make you feel special, even in the small everyday moments. Tenderness is about more than physical touch. It's about how he talks to you, the tone he uses, the way he makes sure his words build you up instead of tearing you down. It's about how he reaches for your hand when you're walking together, how he brushes something off your face without thinking, how he kisses you like it's the first time, every time. It's not about creating a constant atmosphere of care and that attention. That's a form of love that can't be faked for long. When a man's heart is invested, he's paying attention to you in ways that others don't notice. He hears what you say and he remembers it. He notices the way your mood changes and knows how to make you smile again. He's aware of your routines, your habits, your little quirks, and instead of being annoyed by them, he loves them because they're part of you. A man who can't live without you doesn't just check in because it's expected. He checks in because he genuinely wants to know how you're doing. He wants to be involved in your day, your thoughts, your feelings. If something good happens, he wants to be the first to hear about it. If something bad happens, he wants to be the one you lean on. That's attention. And it's one of the clearest signs that you're more than just an option to him. And here's the thing about consistency. It builds trust. It makes you feel secure in a way that random grand gestures never could. A man who's here today and gone tomorrow will keep you guessing. But a man who shows up with tenderness and attention every day will have you knowing without a doubt that you matter. That's when love feels safe. And safe love is the kind that lasts. Now, some people confuse attention with control, but they're not the same thing. Control is about keeping you under watch. Attention is about keeping you in mind. When a man's love is genuine, his attention doesn't feel like pressure, it feels like comfort. You don't feel trapped, you feel valued. You don't feel monitored, you feel supported. That's the difference between a man who just wants to hold on to you and a man who truly can't imagine life without you. It's also in the way he responds to you when you need him. A man who loves you deeply isn't going to disappear when things get hard. He's not going to go quiet when you're upset. He's going to be present, even if he doesn't have all the answers. That's tenderness in action. Being there not just when it's easy, but when it's uncomfortable, when it's inconvenient, when it requires patience and understanding. So if you've got a man who's showing you tenderness and attention day after day, without you having to beg for it, you've got something real. Because for a man to be that consistent, that steady, that present, it means his heart's already made the decision. You are not just someone he loves, you are someone he can't imagine losing. And when a man feels that way, his tenderness and attention become his way of holding on to you for life. When a man can't live without you, it's not just in the way he talks to you or how often he says, I love you. It's in the steady, unwavering way he shows you tenderness and gives you his attention day in and day out. Anybody can start strong in the beginning when everything's new and exciting. Anybody can pour on the charm for a few weeks, maybe a few months. But the real test is whether that tenderness and attention last when life settles into a routine. When there's no special occasion, when the cameras are off and the world isn't watching. See, a man who's only in it halfway will let that effort fade over time. The sweet words will slow down. The little acts of care will become rare. And the attention will start to feel like it's only there when it's convenient. But the man who truly can't live without you, his tenderness doesn't have an expiration date. His attention doesn't run on a timer. He keeps showing up for you even when nothing big is happening because not just part of his life, you're part of his heart. Tenderness isn't only about romance in the way most people think. It's in the way he speaks to you, the way his tone softens when he says your name, the way he chooses words that build you up instead of break you down. It's in those gentle touches that seem almost instinctive, pulling you close when you're cold, brushing your hair out of your face, kissing you like it's still the first time. Those are the small, everyday moments that tell you he's invested. And attention, that's love's watchtower. A man who loves you deeply is paying attention to you in ways that you may not even notice right away. He catches the change in your tone when something's bothering you. He remembers the small details you share in passing, the name of your childhood friend, the snack you always grab at the store, the song that makes you smile. And it's not just that he remembers, he uses that information to make your life better, to make you feel seen and understood. Attention from a man who can't live without you doesn't feel like control. It feels like comfort. It's not about watching your every move. It's about making sure you're okay, about wanting to be part of your day, even in small ways. If something good happens, he wants to be the first one to celebrate with you. If something bad happens, he wants to be the one who stands beside you until it passes. That's attention rooted in love, not obligation. Consistency is the key. A man who's serious about you doesn't show up strong one day and disappear the next. He doesn't give you tenderness and attention when it's easy and pull back when it's hard. He's there in the good times, the hard times, and every ordinary moment in between. That consistency builds trust. And when a woman feels that kind of steady love, she doesn't have to question where she stands. She knows. And let me tell you something. Tenderness from a man isn't weakness. Some men are afraid to show too much care because they think it'll make them look soft. But a man who's truly in love knows that tenderness is strength. It takes a confident man to love openly, to give attention freely, to stay emotionally present without holding back. That's the kind of man who's not worried about protecting his ego. He's focused on protecting the relationship. You'll see it in how he responds when you need him. A man who can't live without you won't disappear when things get hard. He won't avoid you when you're upset. He'll be there, even if he doesn't have all the answers. Even if he can't fix everything. Sometimes his presence alone is the tenderness. Sometimes his willingness to listen is the attention. And those moments mean more than 1,000 speeches. So when you've got a man who's consistent, gentle, and attentive, not just in the honeymoon stage, but in the everyday grind, you've got more than love. You've got a man who's made you a permanent part of his life. And when a man feels that way, he'll hold on to you with tenderness and attention for as long as he lives, because in his mind and in his heart, losing you is simply not an option.